Hi, we're Datarock, and you are
Berlin Music TV.
Hello and welcome to Berlin Music TV. Today we are at the Festsaal Kreuzberg. In course of the NO Festival, a lot of Norwegian bands are going to play here tonight. Our special guest now is Datarock from Bergen in Norway. Four friends formed Datarock on a rainy afternoon, drinking beer under a tree on top of a mountain in Bergen, Norway. Which mountain was it?
You know, the fact of the matter is that it's pretty much true.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a electronic music festival in Bergen, on top of a mountain called Fløyen, which is pretty much it's accessible through a funicular downtown in Bergen. You go straight up to the mountain. And it was an outdoor festival, that is correct. And as always, it was raining in Bergen.
Does that inspire you, or is it just the common weather situation in Bergen?
Well, you know, what is it? It's a 250 days of rain? Yeah. So it's, you know, coincidentally, the sister city of Bergen is Seattle.
Oh.
So Bergen has 250 days of rain. Seattle has a lot of rain. And both of those cities are music cities. And the theory is two things. Of course, Seattle and Bergen is student cities. With in Bergen, the population is just 250,000 or so. And the number of students in Bergen is 28,000.
Yes.
So it's more than 10% of the population in Bergen are students.
Yeah.
So and the same thing with Seattle, right? It's a lot of students there. But it's raining all the time, so it's indoors activities, right? So, you know, with the terrible weather conditions, people tend to spend time making music, performing music, and enjoying music. So I think the terrible weather conditions is a very important reason for why Bergen is a good music city.
So, and what, in what way does your hometown influence you and your music? So. The bad weather, or
I think it's well, people from all over Norway, they move to Bergen because it has an alternative music scene. So it's an inspiring music environment. But one of the nice things about Bergen is that it's the second largest city. It's not a capital city. So you don't, for instance, you don't have the national music industry in Bergen. You have that in Oslo. So the music environment of Bergen is very different to Oslo. In Oslo you have more of music industry that is capitalizing on the domestic market. So it's about capitalizing, kind of. You know what I mean? So you have a music industry in Oslo, whereas in Bergen you have more producers and bands and a music scene. So I think what's inspiring about Bergen is that it's more of a creative hub for the Norwegian music scene than an industry hub.
Okay.
And it's, you know, if you look at the countries all across the world, it's very often it's the second largest city that is the most interesting music-wise, because it's a creative hub, it's not an industry hub. So the music environment in Bergen was it was just a bunch of kids who supported each other.
Yeah,
and the guys who are at No Festival today is sort of part of that original scene. Like we've all known each other since the beginning. Like the very first Datarock show was in Bergen, December 2000, and the guys who are performing today, Ungdomsskolen, was actually playing at the same show. And also Silje Nes is a dear friend from Bergen, and the guys who are organizing it, Henrik and Petri, they're very good friends from back home, who's done designs for these bands, who's helped co-promote shows for these bands, and so that's what it's all about in Bergen. It's such a small city. It's just friends.
Yeah, cool.
Together. Yeah.
In Berlin Music TV is also a platform for smaller bands in Berlin. So, what would you recommend to these bands, to unknown bands in Berlin that want to start such a career as you did? maybe it's
No, it's. I think it's.
a bit difficult.
No, I think it's. Well, there is a lot of like cliche tips, like be a nice person and work hard. But really, I think what you should do is you should realize that whatever you do, it's somehow linked to something that other people do, and you should find those guys, and you should try to establish relationships, and not necessarily business-wise whatsoever.
Yeah.
Actually, it's better if it's not a business relationship. Just a creative relationship. Start doing shows, putting together. If you can't get gigs, just create gigs. So what we did was we just performed and performed and performed. So now Datarock has done more than 800 shows in 36 countries.
Wow.
So basically I guess that's the secret behind our success, if you can call it that. It's just we've just been performing and working very, very hard, but not to achieve commercial goals. It's been sort of about having an okay life.
Yeah.
It's we've ever since the beginning we started touring, so almost wherever we go now we have friends there. It's personal. It's not a place that a management sends us. It's not a place where a record label wants us to utilize a commercial product. It's a place we want to go because we have friends there. It's a place we want to visit. So I think if you wanna start a band and you wanna have fun building a career, you should really try to make sure that it's stimulating socially and not just like you have some. If you have commercial aspirations, first and foremost, you should consider joining the stock market.
Yes. After your great success with your first album and the single Far Far Far, you played a lot in the States. Your new EP is called California. Are you fascinated by the US?
No, that EP is it's about the European fascination about the US. So it's not really our fascination. We've had a lot of fun there and all. And again, the people we work with in America are people we've been working with since 2004. So it's like it's friends, it's fun, and it's kind of the same as back home, pretty much, to be honest. But we've enjoyed a certain success, and I think in retrospect it's kind of funny to see how much of a dream it was for us to sort of make it in the US.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be an ambition. That's what I think. I think whatever you do, you shouldn't have a set standard of ambitions. Like, a lot of the cliche ambitions a band has is unrealistic, and it's actually not a lot of fun to achieve them. And making it in the US it shouldn't be a big ambition, because basically it's very, very hard. It's a very tough market. It's a very large market. If you want to work it, you have to do how many tours have we done? 20 tours? Probably 20 tours. And still, we haven't really utilized that market whatsoever. You have to tour that continent, twice a year for a long, long time before you break it whatsoever. Like a band like Flaming Lips, they didn't really break any market until their 13th album. That tells you a lot about that market.
Okay. You would think that your music has changed with the new EP? Because of the new issue? America?
I think so. It was
or new influences from America on your music.
No, not really. The reason why the EP is so different is because we decided to record it as a live band.
Yeah.
And perhaps you want to elaborate, Kjetil.
I think compared to the first album, it sounds very different. But also the second album that came out in 2009 is also very different from the first album. So I guess the first album is recorded very quickly, very lo-fi, spread over a period of like 5 years or something. And it's just like all the material from the happy student times gathered together in a record that blasted and was a lot of fun. And then the Red album from 2009 is a lot more well produced, and the songs are maybe in a way more handcraft, but I don't know, it's just two very different worlds. And I guess Catcher in the Rye and California EPs, the two last ones, they're sort of in the same track as the Red album, but yeah, like recorded live, which is a big difference, because earlier it was all recorded like track by track.
Today you'll be the headliner at the NO Festival here in Berlin. Would you say, or do you feel, do you see yourself as a kind of as some kind of Norwegian representative or something like that?
If there is a headliner, it's Bergen, the music scene of Bergen, kind of.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everybody who's playing today are from Bergen, has worked in Bergen, or has a Bergen link. Like even Timo Kaukolampi has been working a lot in Bergen, and but I really, if the name Datarock can help pull attention to the other bands, that would be great, because we know that, you know, Röyksopp's name pulled attention to us, and you know, Kings of Convenience and Annie and all of those. So one of the things that we do in the aside of playing in the band Datarock is we run a label called Young Aspiring Professionals.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so we're releasing a lot of local bands, and even early next year we're releasing new bands out of Bergen. So yeah, I think if you can, you should be a diplomat for your home.
Yeah. So what can we expect from you in the future?
We're trying to take it easy in 2012, because we're working on the new project, which is called Datarock the Musical.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing now.
It.
We're making a musical which is about a band that forms in Bergen and tries to make it in the US, and you follow them on that first tour from the East Coast to the West Coast, and it'll be the story about that band called Datarock. It's a very stupid idea.
Where can I see that musical next year?
Well, it's not going to be finished in 2012 probably, but we're going to try to make it. We're going to try to perform it ourselves, and we're going to try to inspire others to perform it without us. And then it looks as if it's going to be made into a film.
Yeah.
So Datarock the Musical is what we're doing now. But then you're releasing a solo album.
Yes. Yeah, well, I've released one solo album and will release another one, and my side projects. Tell
me the name.
The name of the album is Blowjob.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's very direct.
Well, I blow on a saxophone and it's my job, so...
Yeah, thank you for the great interview. I wish you all the best for the next year.
Thanks.